Hi you guys, it's Kimberly. I am going to talk about my Cricut today. I made a bunch of die cuts and I just wanted to go over some tips that I have. And there are probably some things that you've seen other videos go over, but I just kind of wanted to show you what I do. As far as the mats, you don't have to buy new mats when these no longer stick. You can clean these off and reuse them. You don't have to spend the money to get new ones. So let me show you how I clean mine off. Okay, this one's not too bad as far as being dirty, but it has lost its stick. It's not very sticky anymore. So before I apply the new adhesive to it, I want to get all of these little pieces of paper off. There's probably some hair on here and just debris. So what I do is I just take Windex, just household Windex. You can probably use any kind of cleaner. You could probably use Simple Green, any kind of spray cleaner. I always have Windex around and I've just always found that this works for me, so this is what I use. And I use this blade. Now this is a set of blades I got. It came with just, I think, like 3 utility blades. And I use this flat one. And this is the only thing I use this blade for. I've never changed this blade. I don't even know if you can. Yeah, I think you can change the blade by pushing this. But I only use it to clean this mat. I just kind of let this soak in. I may even run my finger around here to kind of get it evenly soaked in to all the places. And just kind of let it sit here for a minute. It doesn't have to sit for a long time because it really activates everything and loosens it up quite quickly. And then I just take this razor, I just scrape all of the crud off of here. And even if you think it's not that dirty, you're going to see how much stuff is really on here. There's a lot of paper fiber. You will take some of that adhesive that is on here, and that's okay. You want to get as much stuff as you can off of this. Just be careful with the razor that you don't cut yourself.
That's the old one. Hey, it's alright, I say hi.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi.
So all of this right here, that's all paper fiber.
Where is God dates at?
And then I just wipe that off. Now sometimes you can do that and there's still quite a bit of stick left on there. And if there is, then there's no need to reapply any kind of adhesive to it. A lot of times just cleaning it off will reactivate the adhesive and you don't need to reapply anything to it. But this mat is pretty old and I've cleaned it quite a few times, so I know that it needs to be resprayed. And you can tell, I mean, see, there's still some stick, and you can actually see it in places on here, but there's some places where there's just absolutely none on here at all. So I normally will take this outside to spray it, but since I'm filming this, I'm going to spray it in here. So I'm just going to put this down so that I don't get it all over. And this is what I use, the Crayon Easy Tack. And I got this at Hobby Lobby. It was $7.99, but if you use a coupon, you can get half off of that, or 40% off. Okay, and then you don't need to put a lot on here, but you want to make sure. And first I'm going to actually spray this with water just to get all of the Windex chemical off of this. So that was just water. I'm going to take a clean paper towel and dry it off. Okay, and now I'm going to take my Easy Tack and I'm just going to spray it just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to put it aside, and I'm going to let this dry for a while before I use it. I'm not going to put the plastic cover on it or anything, I'm just going to put it aside. Okay, so I made a bunch of cuts today. So these are some of the things that I cut out. There was a free cartridge available to cut out today, and it was called Southwest. And it had these cute little butterfly, or cute little feathers. And I think I cut these out at 3 inches. No, 3.5. And it still was hard for my Cricut to cut out this intricate part of the feather down here. It's still a bit choppy, and they're okay, I'll still use them. But if it's something that I have to really work at trying to get it popped out of the paper, then I typically won't cut a whole lot of them. So I just cut one sheet out of those, and I'll still use them, but if I can't pop them out really quick, then I typically won't cut out a whole lot of them. This was another cut that I was able to get off of that cartridge that they were offering for free. And usually if the cartridges that they're offering for free out of Cricut Craft Room, they're usually only available for like a week. And they had these little flowers available too. There was all kinds of Southwest type things, cactuses, roadrunners. So, you know, if there's a cut that I think that I'll use, I'll just cut out a bunch of them. I only cut out one sheet of these little flowers, these little cactus flowers. And there really wasn't anything else I was interested in. But I went back to the Basic Shapes, which is a cartridge that's always available on there. And I decided to cut out more pattern paper type stuff. So I cut out these stars, and these are 2-inch. And I used some of the paper that I got at Tuesday Mornings. And then I cut out some 1-inch circles out of this pattern paper. I decided to cut some pattern paper rather than just using solid cardstock, so that when I make embellishments they'll be a bit more colorful. And then I cut these circles out. These are 2-inch circles out of the smiley face paper I got at Tuesday Mornings, and then on the back it has just this purple print on it. So I cut a bunch of that out. And I cut a bunch of these little circles out of this print, these little 1-inch. I cut some 1-inch hearts out with this pink polka dot. And then this pink and white polka dot. My feathers. And then I cut a bunch of 1-inch circles out of the smiley face paper. And then I cut some, these are 2.5 inch out of this paper. And then I cut some 2-inch out of that stripe paper that I made those last heart embellishments out of that I told you guys that I like so much. These are 2-inch. I wish I had more of this paper, and I did see this paper pack on sale at Michael's for $5 the other day, and I almost got it. This was back from in February, some Valentine paper. And then I just grabbed some other papers, you know, that I thought that I might like out of that pack, and I did this one. And this is a 1.5 inch circle. And then again, this is a 1.5 inch circle. This is some paper that I got from Tuesday Mornings. So 1.5. Yeah, this is a 1.5 circle. That's the same as the star paper. These are some more smiley faces. And then I started to wonder if the paper that I got at the Dollar Tree, that foil paper, this paper here, I started to wonder if my Cricut would cut this out because this paper is really fine. Let me get one here that I cut. See how fine it is? It's really flimsy and fine, but I wanted to test it to see if my Cricut would cut it, and it did a really beautiful job. So I cut some stars out of the silver, and that paper is nice because you get 20 sheets for $1. So there's some silver stars, and then I cut out some 1-inch pink hearts. And some 1-inch red hearts. Okay, so it cut that fine, perfectly. And so then I started to wonder if it would cut that other paper that I got, the corrugated. This paper here, which it's not called, yeah, the printed corrugated pattern, this stuff, and it wasn't able to. It cut through the first layer of it, so I was trying to cut circles out of it, 1.5 inch circles. Is that 1.5 or 2 inch? I think it was this size, 1.5. And then I thought, well, if I could just get the corrugated layer off, that would work. I don't necessarily have to have the back paper, because see, if you lift it up, this tears apart pretty easily. But it didn't cut through it all the way, so it just kind of ripped. So I guess I could probably use, you know, smaller sections of this paper, or maybe even punch, you know, through some of this, but it didn't cut through. So then I tried to cut around it with my scissors, but that didn't work either because you really can't see what you're cutting because of the design on here. You can't really see your lines, and you can't see it on the back either. So it didn't work on the corrugated paper. So that was kind of disappointing. So it did work on the foil, which is this. The foil sheets, you get 20 sheets, and they come in all different colors. You get gold, blue, silver, red, and pink. Okay, for $1. And then what else did I want to tell you about the Cricut? Oh, a lot of people have been asking what cartridges I use. I don't have very many cartridges for my Cricut machine. I've only got like 4. And those 4 that I have, I don't use the actual cartridges themselves. What I use for these shapes here, these basic shapes, I go to Cricut online, Provo Craft online, and they have, I use an expression machine, which is one of the first machines that came out. I've never updated. I don't feel the need to, because I just do these basic things with my Cricut. And so if you go to if you have an expression, and even the newer machines have like Design Studio, I think is what it's called. But for my expressions machine, if you have an expression, they have a program that you can download, and it's called Craft Room. And what you do is you can design and, you know, tell your Cricut what you want to cut out right from your computer. So you download the program, and then you can basically tell your Cricut what to do from your computer with a USB port. And also what you can do is you can tell your Cricut by putting your cartridges into your expression, and then it saves it onto your computer so that it knows what cartridges you have, which ones you've purchased. And then it stores that information so that you don't have to put it in each time you want to cut from that particular cartridge. It already knows which ones you own. And you can also search for images that you're interested in and buy those cartridges directly from Cricut itself. But the nice thing is it has a couple of just really basic cartridges that are always available to you without purchase. The program is free, and those cartridges are always available to you to use for free. But another really nice feature of downloading that program is that every week, or week and a half to 2 weeks, they offer you the use of a cartridge. So like this today when I went on, they had the Southwest one, which is what I cut these feathers from and those cactus flowers from. And there's a bunch of other images that you can cut from that. So my cat's on my desk. Kane, everybody can see your tail, buddy. He's trying to look out my window. And then there was another one available called My Younger Years or something. There were like, excuse me, type images. And those are usually available like 10 to 12 days, and then they'll have others available. So what I do is when they have those on there and I see images that I'm interested in printing, I'll just print out or cut out a bunch of those. So that's how I've been able to get a lot of my die cuts, is I'll just print out like a few sheets of those, and then I'll have them available for if and when I want to use them, or if I give some of those away, I can just, you know, load up my bags. If I grant somebody's wish or whatnot, I'll just have them available. So it's always a good option if you have a Cricut Expressions, go and load that program, because it's really a nice feature, and it's nice to not have to put your cartridges into your machine, and it's so nice to not have to mess with those buttons and your little gel pad each time you want to cut something out. It's such a time saver. And if you have problems with it, you can chat with the people online at Cricut, and they have the most incredible customer service. I've never had a bad experience when dealing with their customer service. They've just always been so wonderful, and they've walked me through any problems that I've had. Like I was having problems with my Cricut because Adobe Air wasn't communicating well with their program, and they walked me through it and we got the problem solved today. So I was able to use my Cricut today. So I think that that is the only things that I wanted to show you, was how I reuse my mats. I wanted to talk to you about that paper. And then some people have asked me, like, these are all of the edges off of the paper. Like if I didn't have enough space on my paper to cut all the way to the edges of the paper, I cut them off, and this is my scraps. So I will save these and I will use these for embellishments. So that's where I get a lot of my scraps. I just like to store them in nice, neat strips like this. But then some people were asking me about my stencils, where I get my stencils. Well, this is mostly what I use for my stencils when I do my jelly plate. I save the negatives from when I use my Cricut. So I'll save all of these. See, I still need to cut these strips off, so I'm going to put that aside. But see, like this one, I've already cut the sides off, but I'll use this on my jelly plate. I'll use all of my negatives, which is a wonderful way to use these parts that you would typically just throw away. I need to cut these off, so I'm going to put those aside. But these make wonderful stencils for your jelly plate, or painting, or just to add something special to your artwork. You know, these feathers will make a great one for the jelly plate. These flowers. And the hearts are always really good to use. And then still, I can still use some of this space to cut out little punches if I wanted to. On these ones, I could cut, fussy cut out these extra little flowers here. Okay, but I'll most likely save these and use them for my jelly plate. And then these strips of paper will get cut up and used for embellishments. Okay, so that's all I wanted to show you guys today. So I hope you all have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And as always, God bless. Bye-bye, guys.